Hello everyone, and welcome. This is Empyrion. I haven't been playing the game too long, but what I can tell you is it is life-consuming like Factorio and Stationeers have been, where there's just so much to do, so rich in content, but so creative that it's awesome. I'm really enjoying playing it on my live streams. So I thought, well, the first day I had to sit down in over a week to record some Let's Play videos, I thought I might throw this into the rotation. Hopefully I'll be able to continue it, but we'll see on frequency. I don't know how frequently I'll be able to output new Let's Plays for it. I'm hoping, like, the goal, of course, is every day, but I also have Nantucket and Stationeers that I'm currently in the middle of doing, so that's 3 per day, which is half a day's worth of work or more. So that only works if I don't already have work to do. So we'll see. That's my goal, but I probably won't be meeting it. I haven't been streaming much lately because of time constraints. But anyway, new game, gonna try it out. I think I'll just kind of play it for a while until I feel like, all right, we've kind of reached a goal enough to have fun and let people see the game, or maybe I just play it until I die. We'll see. It depends on how soon I die, I guess, because it can be very unforgiving, which makes it very fun. So we will start up a new game. All right, so there are different scenarios. Default is the default scenario for single player. Dawn of Galaxy. Choose this scenario if you are a real explorer and adventurer. Discover unique planets and missions which will challenge but also reward you. The higher you get in levels, the more missions you unlock. Your final goal is find the ship Danos CV-X7 and capture it to get the ultimate power in your hands. Recommended for single player and co-op. Difficulty easy. Okay. That could be fun. I've never tried that one. All right. They have the default multiplayer, which we're doing single player here. The Battle Royale. Fight alone, in co-op, or in multiplayer for the one and only survival last man team standing. Oh, interesting. Find guns and vehicles along the way and watch out aliens interrupting your hunt. Reach the Stargate to escape from this cruel Battle Royale planet. That sounds like you probably don't build. Look at hard. So it's more like almost like a PvE first-person shooter style game, it seems like. That could be interesting if you're into that sort of thing. I personally don't care for PvP at all, but I do like the idea that if I had a group of friends and we were kind of all playing against each other, but we were all kind of talking and stuff, it could be fun. All right, Invader versus Defender. Dive into the big war between Invader versus Defender. What side will you take? Don't forget that mercenaries and traitor can decide in what favor the war can go. Recommended for multiplayer. Interesting. All right, Shadows of Starlight. You're a covert operations specialist for the Union of Federal Planets. A recent spy report indicates that a new weapon is being constructed in secret by the Xerax Empire, the Union's biggest threat. Your mission is to find out what the secret weapon is, to locate it, and then to destroy it. You have landed with the Tactical Commando Module on Bruxus, a desolate ice planet. Your superiors assume you can pick up the trail from there. Your base is set up, and you have plenty of bullets to start your mission. So more of a combat type scenario. I like that. That's cool. There's the tutorial, and then we're back to default. So you can see already, even though the game's early access, there's scenarios that people have built, custom scenarios. It has Steam Workshop support, so you can download new ship designs, scenario stuff, new solar systems. Right now, I'm playing with the default solar system, but evidently you can download some big ones. The default, I believe, has 9 planets in it, and you get to choose between 2 planets in the standard scenario. However, you can download, there's one right now that's on a dedicated server that one of my fellow streamers, Harvey UK, has, and I've been playing on it with him during my streams, and it has 162 planets, so there's plenty of space to go explore and stuff like that. So yeah, it seems like the variety is going to be insane. All right, so there's survival game mode and creative. We're definitely doing the survival. All right, so we need to name this game. So let's name it Dycart Let's play. All right, we can go episode 1. Dun dun dun. Okay. You know what? I don't even know that you can do that. Oh, let's see. Let's just do Dycart's Let's Play. I'm thinking every time you save it, you overwrite. But I might be wrong on that. And I probably am. All right, seed. The seed determines how the world is procedurally generated. The same seed means the same world. So if you want to play on the same world that I am, let's pick a seed. Let's just do 7878. How about that? There you go. I have no idea what that's going to do, but let's do that. 7878. So if you decide you want to play on the same exact world that I'm using here, that's what it'll be. So the difficulty settings, they have the presets. You can cycle through. I'm thinking I might want to do custom. Let's see. Starting equipment. Yes, I definitely want that to be easy. Player progression fast. Degradation speed slow. Oh, so you can make your weapons last forever. But slow is going to be fine. As you use your weapons and tools, they slowly degrade. But you can make repair stations and repair them. However, each item has a certain number of repairs it's allowed. So like maybe you have a weapon that's allowed 7 repairs. So if you have to keep repairing it after the 7th one, you're going to have to just replace it. So far in my playing, and again, I'm not a veteran by any means, but so far it's been pretty simple. Like I've repaired weapons, but I didn't even need to. So, and I've played many hours. So I don't think this is something that's necessarily going to be something to turn off. In fact, you could probably turn it up to a faster speed and still be fine. But I'll just leave it on slow, the easy settings. Food consumption, slow. That's going to make it a little bit easier, but let's go normal on that. So how quickly you need to eat, basically. Oxygen consumption. I think I'm going to switch that to normal as well. I want this to be so that we need to solidify getting our food and our oxygen as top priorities because we are on a space planet, and you know we're an astronaut basically, and we need that. So I want that to be more of a driving force. So I don't want to turn them too low and give myself time to just kind of piddle around. Temperature, radiation impact, low. Let's turn that to normal as well. We want to have to worry about those sorts of things. Amount of ore per deposit. Okay, definitely we want rich. Ore can be tough. So I want to make this easy as far as the ore is concerned. Auto miner depletion. So sets whether the auto miner will deplete deposits while mining. In the game, later in the game, in the more advanced stages of research, you can make auto miners, basically things that you just plant on an ore patch, and they will just sit there and mine it for you, and you just come back later and pick it up instead of having to manually do it yourself. I'm going to turn that to false. I'm hoping that means it will not deplete any ore. So in other words, once I'm able to build auto miners, I'm hoping that I can just place them and they'll just work, and then I can just come pick up the ore later, because hopefully by that stage of the game, I'm less worried about digging for ore and building stuff and more worried about exploring and combat and stuff like that. Enemy difficulty influences the overall difficulty when attacking enemies. Let's go medium, so it's a little bit tougher, but we don't want to make it so tough that we die a lot. Rate of NPC spawn. Let's go normal. Overall drone presence. Normal. Okay, drone base attack. Number of waves and the number of drones per wave. Let's set that to medium. I'm thinking maybe we should have just chose medium up here. Although I chose easy start equipment. All right, constructor craft speed. Fast, normal, slow. Okay, I'm going to go fast because it's a Let's Play and I don't want you to have to just sit there and watch me building stuff the whole time. Blueprint production speed will also set to fast, although I don't know how many blueprints I will use, but yeah, I might use some. I might have to go out and download some that'll just be kind of fun to see. Blueprint spawn limit. Blueprints must be placed on a, when being spawned. False. So we want to be able to build them wherever. If I had set this to true, we would have to build a big flat area on the base that's really huge just to build our, like a capital vessel. If I set it to false, then we can just build it on the ground next to the base. Block limit for certain devices. I'm going to say false on that too. So you could have extra weapons if you wanted, but yeah, because I remember I downloaded the Millennium Falcon for a capital vessel. I wanted to try it out, and I wasn't able to do it on the server I played on. So I'll set that to false because it had too many guns and stuff like that, too many blocks. So all right, so let's go with that. Okay, so we've got our custom difficulty settings, our seed. We're doing survival and start location. You got two choices. Okay. Akua's easy, I think mainly because the temperature on the planet is normal temperature, like a comfortable temperature with a comfortable gravity, and the air is breathable. Okay, right here, O2 content breathable, 20% O2, and yes, it's breathable. So if we switch over to Omicron, right, the temperature is up to 45 degrees Celsius and -5 lower. So it's a wider range of temperature, which will affect you. Has a little bit more radiation. Weather is a little bit worse. But here's the big thing is it's not breathable. So that makes you have to worry more about oxygen. If you start on Akura, you don't even have to worry about oxygen. You can just leave your helmet off the whole time and just kind of run around. And it's great for starting out. Absolutely great. Definitely something you should always start there if the first time you're playing the game for sure. But once you get to the point where you can handle the oxygen generation and stuff like that, and you kind of want to deal with it, then that's something you might want to switch. Right? But it has slightly different resource deposits and things like that. Now, next to the start, there's this drop down here. You can actually start a co-op server. I have not messed with those, but there are like dedicated servers you can download via Steam and set up separately, and you can set all these different settings plus more for the server. But I'm not worried about that because we're just doing a single player Let's Play, and it's already been 12 minutes and we haven't started the game yet, so I think it's about time we start. What do you think? I just kind of wanted to go over that in general for those people that have not played the game. All right, let's see. So this is survival. It's a barren planet. There's something over there. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to look. Promethium deposit over there. Oh, there's a rescue module. I think that's where I kind of want to aim towards, but I like that there are promethium deposits nearby that I've already discovered. That's always helpful. Another one. Wow, 3 of them. That's crazy. And I'm already level 2. That's that fast experience gain. And boom, we're going to crash. Okay, so this game does have missions, or what you might call quests. And here's one right here. The Robinson Protocol on Omicron. All right, you can read all this. It's suggesting you do the tutorial. This has a big list of tasks, but basically it's a mini tutorial to help you get started. You can skip this altogether if you know what you're doing and you don't want to take the time. You certainly can. I'm going to go ahead and do it, but I'll try to speed through it. All right, so the first thing, access the escape pod, and I want to take everything here, so I can click this button, and everything goes to my inventory when I close the window. And every time you hear that beep, that's me finishing a step. So open your inventory with tab, hold shift, left mouse click your pistol, small med kit, and emergency ration. Okay, and yay! Now what happened there is that little sound that you just heard that wasn't just the blip, the little horn sound, was a reward. So I completed a reward and got this motorbike construction kit. So that's awesome. All right, I want to add the survival constructor and the emergency O2 generator. And here are my vitals right here. So I have my health, and I have my food, like how hungry I am. This is my stamina, and then oxygen. And you can already hear creepy sounds. All right, and if we look around, you can see them. Now, these guys aren't hostile, but they do make really freaky, scary sounds. It reminds me a lot of Subnautica when you hear some of the sounds. Like, it's just like, oh my god, what is that? Okay, so select the survival constructor slot and place it on the ground in front of you. Now, this is the same quest regardless of where you landed your ship. I landed it right here. I can see this module, and I know that's where it's going to send me. But you may have landed somewhere completely different. It's kind of random where your ship's going to come down at. So you hit F to access it, and then it's telling me to put the motorbike construction kit in here. And then select motorbike. And turn it on right here. And it's building it. And it's building relatively quickly. Not too bad. Blam, just like that, I got a motorbike. So now I can move it down to my toolbar. And then select the motorbike. Place it in front of you, but I need to pick this up. So I use Shift F. And that picked it up, and I don't want to select it necessarily. And now I want to hop on the bike and head towards the yellow marker, which of course is this rescue module. But you can ride this bike around. You're not going to tip over. It's pretty simple to steer. So here I am. Made it to the rescue module. Now here's the thing about the motorbikes. When you hop off using the F key, if you leave it sitting there, it'll eventually disappear. It'll degrade and disappear. So you want to use Shift F and pick it up. I know it's weird that you have a motorbike stored in your inventory, but hey, you're in space. Can't expect it to be that realistic. Okay, so place down the oxygen generator. Open it with F. Okay, drag and drop 3 biofuel to energy items. Now you can do all sorts of things. Like you can right-click will split the stack in half, and then right-click would split it again. Then you could grab 3 and drag it over there. Or you can do what I think is the quicker, simpler way when you want a specific number. Is you pick the whole thing up. You pull it over to the energy items, or the input side, and you right-click to add 1. So there's 1 added, and it immediately started using it. There's 2, and there's 3. So I completed that part of the quest, and right here, done. Go inside and open the personal container in the base. So this is the base, and this is just like a general base. It's just like a derelict base out here in space. So open it, come in here, go inside, open the personal container, and that's F. Move all the stuff to your inventory. So we have a core, we have some small O2, some water, some sprouts, and some anti-radiation pills. Click this to move it all to your inventory, and exit. Alright, and I just got a reward. What did I get for that? Is it the fuel packs? I can't remember. If you ever want to look, you can hit F1. Okay. And I just did the personal container, and it says reward. Oh, I got 1 fiber plant sprout as a reward. So you can do this. Now, if you ever find yourself where it's not completing the steps because you did it slightly out of order, or the game messes up or something like that, you can manually click these items. Like I can go to activate base. It's like there's a typo there. I could click this and tell it mark it complete without me actually doing it. So you can go back and kind of catch up on quests if something goes wrong. So you don't have to stress too much about like a quest getting quote unquote bugged and having to start your game over or something like that. All right, so the next thing it says on the right side of the screen there is Y to activate. So I press Y, and the base powers up. Cool. And then you hit P to open the control panel. This is the main control panel of base, and it's almost the same for vehicles. I mean, it's an easy, quick way to access everything in part of it. All right, find the info column and set the faction drop-down to private and close the window. That's this right here. So right now it's set at public, which means any players that happen to be on this server, of course, as a single player, it's only me right now, but at public, any players can access and use everything in here. If I set it to private, Now only I can, and other players cannot use this unless they destroy the core of the building, which there's a core block that they would have to manually actually destroy to gain access and be able to use all the stuff. If you created a faction in a multiplayer, which is basically like a clan or a guild in other games, you could also set this to a specific faction to have access. So you could give your faction access, but no one else if you wanted. But okay, I'm talking a lot, which I got to remember I'm using up O2 in the game. All right, go outside, place a survival constructor in front of the base. So we go down here. The survival constructor is number 4, so we'll set that right here. Open your inventory, move the drill and chainsaw on your toolbar. Inventory is tab, so I'm going to put the drill, I think I'll put the drill as number 5 and the chainsaw as number 6. You can kind of mess with this all you want. Okay, now mine the ores, and if you look on the right of the screen, it might not be super easy to see right there. It wants 5 iron, copper, silicon, and wood. Okay, so you can chop down trees, you can mine. So that's it. That's my next job, is to go get that stuff. So I'm going to hop on my bike. I'm going to drive over here. Hop off. I didn't necessarily need the bike, but it's a little bit quicker. So I click 5 to bring out my drill. Then I have to right click and tell it I want stone removal. And I'm just going to start using it. It has to refuel using the biofuel we have in our inventory. And then we'll remove the stone, and we got some silicon and some copper and experience. So this is going to help us to level up. I can hold down shift and sprint a little bit, but it uses up my stamina really fast. So something to be aware of. If you need to flee from a creature or something, you can use sprint by holding down shift, but it's not going to last forever. Another thing to keep in mind is the way the game is built. If you're playing a single player game, the first couple days, like the first 2 full days, there will be no aggressive enemies that spawn on Akura or Omicron. Now, if you download specific specialized maps, I don't know if that holds true or not. Okay, so right there, I've collected all the ore that it wanted me to collect. So I'm going to go here and switch to my chainsaw. And I can hit R to reload that, which will put some gas into it. Okay, and then saw down the tree, and that should give me some wood once it completes. There we go. I got 2 wood logs, so I need at least 1 more. So I'm safe to wander around, but once those first couple days go by, it's going to get very dangerous, and I have to be aware of that. So open map with M, okay, and this is just kind of showing you. Find your base and right mouse click. Oh, there's another typo there. Again, early access. This game is amazing, so don't let the little typos and stuff fool you. I'm sure those will be fixed eventually. All right, so right-click on the icon, select waypoint, and remove on approach. And you can also select, like, I could make it the icon be a house or something like that. Show on HUD means I'll see it when I get back into the game. I could deselect that, and then I would only see it on the map, but I wouldn't see it when I'm regular in the game. So, accept. And then close that. Now, obviously it's right here, I can see it anyway. But when I turn, if you look on my mini-map in the upper right, you can see that it's still appearing there. And if I were farther away, like you can see those promethium deposits, how they're kind of sticking up. That's what this would look like if I were farther away. It would still stick up. That was the show on HUD setting. Okay, so it's wanting me to go back to the base. So if I got too far, if I had to go far to collect the ores and stuff like that, it would be a longer trip back. And you'd want to use the motorcycle. I'm not necessarily worried about that. I'll hit 0 to just have my hands empty. All right, and so the next is access the constructor. Okay, move all the ores and wood logs to the input field. The quickest way to do that is to hold down shift and left click. So you don't necessarily have to drag and drop. So I'm just moving all the ore over there and the wood. Okay, and that lit up. Anything I can build is now lit up. Now I want to build 1 solar panel and at least 2 pistol rounds. So 1 solar panel there. And then I can turn this on and it'll start working. And then pistol rounds, I want 2 of those. Okay, so what it did here is, and this is the most recent patch added this, is it knows what it takes to build these items, so it threw them down here to build them. Before the last patch that put it to, I can't remember the alpha version, 7.6 maybe, before that, you had to manually build all the individual or intermediate materials, which took quite a while. It was interesting because it certainly taught you how they were made. So I appreciated that about it. But when you're starting the game and you've been through it a few times, all that did was frustrate you. So they were very smart in making that change. Very smart. All right, so while that's off, I can go here. All right, so if you look in the upper left of the screen, you can see it's alpha 7.6. So it was alpha 7.5.9 when I started playing, and that 7.6 is where they released the fix to this constructor. I shouldn't say fix, the change to the constructor. All right, move the ammo to your inventory and the solar panel to your toolbar. So I can shift-click. Now I have 125 pistol rounds, and I can move this to my toolbar. And you can put it kind of anywhere you want. Check east and west on your compass before placing the solar panel. As the direction of the sloped solar panel variance to the sun makes a difference in terms of the overall average solar panel output, you should also avoid to place them behind obstacles, of course. Next, select the solar panel and click your right mouse to see all placeable variants. Okay, so we just completed that. We need to place this solar panel. Now, this is our first time placing anything in the game. I'm going to hit number 9 to select it, and you can see this big box thing kind of pops up. It's blue here because it's touching the base. It has to be connected to a base. Here, it's not even displaying fully because the ground covers it, but it's red, meaning it can't be placed. It has to be connected to the base. You can right-click, and there are many different styles of solar panel. Okay. Now, what they were talking about was check your east-west and slope. Is if you're on the equator of the planet, if this were the exact center of the planet, the sun is going to travel directly overhead. So I would want to make sure it's horizontal and it's always getting the sun. However, if we were at a place that was like way in the southern hemisphere, the sun's going to be traveling to our north. So you're going to want to turn the solar panels and have them an angle so they're angled more to the north to get more solar power. That's what they're talking about when it comes to that stuff. I am not so worried about it right now. I'm just gonna place a horizontal one because it's simpler. Now there's a couple horizontal ones here. Okay. Solar panel with adapter. I'm not sure exactly what the adapter is on that. You can put it up on a stand. You can have it just raised off the ground or totally flat. Okay. So see how this is flat? It's like the bottom of the box that you can see, the blue box. So you want to kind of place this somewhere. Now, one thing that is very, very useful that is good to know is you have the ability to use a drone. You always have this drone. You hit F5 to launch your drone. So I just pressed F5, and now I can use the space bar and a WASD to move around. That's me down there. That's little me. That's me. Aren't I handsome in my purple and black? Okay, but my drone can fly around, and I'm limited in range, but my drone can fly around. It can be hard to control at first, but my drone's around. So I'm going to come up here and look at, what do you know, on the roof of this building there was already a solar panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this, and this is one of the things that's nice about this game, is if you look, you can see the green vertical bar. That's showing me the axis. So when I click the rotate key, it's going to rotate around that axis. Okay, see, it's zooming in because it's placeable, but you could put it here, and see it's that axis. Now I can change the axis, so there it's going to flip upside down. Okay, I can change this one so it flips end to end, and then I can go back to this one. Okay, so that's kind of cool. It makes it much simpler. We're going to go ahead and just place this guy right there. All right, so we have a second solar panel up. Now when I'm done with the drone, I can just hit F5, and now I'm back to my person. Pretty cool, right? All right, so oxygen generator. Shift right-click the mouse to fill up your suit. So I'm going to pull these items out, but then right here it's saying shift right-click. So if you look, I only have 123 oxygen. This gives me 50. I'm going to hold down shift and right-click when it's in my inventory. Now shift left-click will move it to other boxes, containers, and stuff if they're able to. Shift right click will use it. So shift right click, and I just used one bottle, and now I'm up to 169 oxygen in my suit. Okay, and then I move the rest of my inventory, close the window. Yay! And I got a reward for that, a multi-tool and a multi-charge. Oh my lord, that's awesome. So the multi-tool right here, I'm going to switch this to 4. There's the charge. All right, now before I forget, I'm going to bring out my pistol, and it starts out unloaded. So I'm going to hit R, reload my pistol. Now it's done. I'm going to switch to the new tool, the multi-charge. It's not loaded, so I'm going to hit R and reload that. It will automatically, any tool or weapon will automatically reload if it runs out of ammo. However, I wanted to kind of have this, like the pistol loaded first, because then when it comes time to use it, when I first pull it out, I'm not having to reload because it's the first time I've used it. So if you're on a dangerous planet, you might want to make sure you've loaded your weapons first so that you don't have to take the time to get hit. All right, so it's go in here, and you see this little force field? There's power now to this base, so this force field means it's holding the air in. So there's no oxygen outside. So let me step back out. There's no oxygen out here. If you look at the lower left of my screen, right above my health bar, you can see there's a bunch of icons, but 2 of them are lit up. One is a helmet showing I am currently wearing a helmet. If I remove it, I have no air. Okay, so it was like, oh my god, no oxygen. Okay, so right now I need my helmet on so that my suit is providing me with oxygen. The other icon that is lit up is the one showing me that there's currently gravity where I'm at. So that's how I can tell there's gravity, and I'm wearing my helmet. The first one is your jetpack, which I can turn on by hitting J, and you see the jetpack icon lit up. See that one? Now if I hit space, when I jump, I can jet pretty high. If I turn it off and hit space, I can't jump as high. Okay, but using your jetpack uses stamina. So you don't want to necessarily sit there and use your jetpack. The other thing to watch for is with your jetpack, you jump and you can move around, but you also drift. See that? I just hurt myself. That's not a huge jump, but because I was using my jetpack, I hurt myself because I jumped much higher than I normally would. Okay, so now my health is down to 430. Something to be aware of. All right. The next in between the helmet and the gravity icons, it might be kind of hard to see there. Try to get it some background. Is O2. That's telling you if there's oxygen in the air you are currently in. Right now it's not lit up, so there's no oxygen. Well, I shouldn't say no oxygen. It's not breathable. That the O2 signal there tells you whether the air is breathable or not. Okay, and then of course we have the gravity one we already talked about. And then the other 2 are for like you can't build and you can't mine, which are things that you just don't see very often. Like you don't deal with those. Now watch the icon in the lower corner, the O2 icon. Right now I'm not in breathable air. There's a little force field here, and when I step inside, it's not breathable. So you're like, well, what the heck? I'm indoors. Well, there's no oxygen in here right now. It's still not breathable, so the O2 does not light up. If I took my helmet off, I would suffocate. All right, so back to the quest that we're doing. P opens the control panel. Click on the Fill All button below the oxygen tank. So right here is the oxygen tank. Then move the oxygen slider in the Generals column to On. Here's the Generals column. Okay. The O2 symbol in the lower left screen will be lit up, so telling you the room is oxygenated. So Fill All. Put oxygen into this big oxygen tank that's kind of in the back, and now I turn the oxygen power on. It used up some of it to fill the room. Now when I close this, the O2 icon is now lit up. That tells me I can now breathe in here. So there's the oxygen tank, there's a ventilator. They do not have to be connected. Anything connected to your base works in conjunction. So that ventilator could be anywhere around here as long as it's touching the base, and it would work using the O2 out of that tank. They do not have to be connected like that. Okay, so because there's O2 in the building, I can now hit U and remove my helmet, and you'll see the icon turn off. And now I'm breathing the oxygen of the room and not the oxygen in my suit. So right now my suit oxygen is at 114. It will just stay there because I'm not using my suit oxygen right now. So anytime you're in an environment where you can breathe the normal air, make sure you take your helmet off so that you're conserving the oxygen in your suit, because you're definitely going to need that when you're not in those environments. Okay, so The next step said to place a ventilator. Well, we have a ventilator. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and place another one because that's what the quest is asking me to do. I'm going to right-click and put one down. I already had one in my inventory, so that was the last reward we got from the quest. So there's the ventilator. We already have one. Let's place a second one. You don't necessarily need it. You only need one. But I'm going to do it because that's the quest. Now right here, if you look, I have this ventilator to be placed in the corner. But what if I want to raise it? Well, you can use page up and page down to raise it and lower it in the spot that it's currently at. This one's not working. Must be because I can see there the ventilator's going below ground right there. And up is bringing it up. I see. So it's just not raising it up any higher than that. Interesting. So if I hit F5... Alright, so the ventilator has to be placed on something down here. So let's just place it there. Okay. I only use S5 because it's the drone, so I wanted to get up high and see if I could place it. So I have a ventilator here. There's also one here. They're both working. We're all good. No worries. Again, you only need one. Why the quest or the mission tells you to place one, I'm not sure when they start you with one. My guess is when they originally wrote it, they did not start you with a ventilator. That would be my guess. Okay, so now move some of your sprouts from your inventory to your toolbar. So let's grab a durian. And, well, no, you know what? I'm going to save that one. Let's do a fiber and a corn. And close that. All right, now it's wanting me to place these two sprouts. So there's a fiber. I'm just planting here. So you can see the grow beds right here. They're special spots. So like right here, you can't place them in. They have to be on the grow beds. Okay, now find the lever for the grow light nearby and activate it so the plants can grow. There's the grow light. Here's the lever. Okay, they're not necessarily that close, and you don't necessarily even need a lever to turn on a grow light. You can use logic to connect those things, but you don't have to. You could just put the light there and have it on. Okay, so you hit F here, and I just completed that mission. You can see the light came on. Okay, what to do next? Expand your base, build a large constructor, unlock build better weapons. So that was the quote-unquote tutorial mission, and I just completed it. So these plants now have a grow light on them. I've got solar power powering the base. Here's a capacitor that's actually storing power from the solar. Okay. Then I have the ventilators moving oxygen into the room, and I have the oxygen tank here providing oxygen. I have these lockers for cargo, so I have storage. So this is a nice little starting base. Depending on how you feel, you may or may not want to use this base. I personally think for this playthrough I will probably use it. For other playthroughs, what I've done is complete this mission and then leave and go build a base from scratch. You can have as many bases as you want. Okay, so we're done with that. So the next thing I want to do, I know it gave me that list of, build your base and all that stuff. I know I want to build a constructor. That's really important because I go out here. Now see, it's nighttime already, so we're already halfway to, put my helmet on. Do you see that? I walked outside and forgot my helmet. Yikes. We were already past the first day, and if you look up in the upper right of the corner, it says it's partly cloudy, low plains, and then you see the little half sun icon with an arrow pointing down? That's sunset. So, and the counter just counted down to 0, so it just hit sunset, and now it's nighttime. And the counter's telling me it's going to be 12 hours, 58 minutes until daytime again. Now see the arrows turn, now saying the sun will rise in 11 hours and 54 minutes. Now, obviously the timer in the game isn't going by real time. So it's counting down roughly every second. So it's going to be, over, I would say probably 15 minutes, 11 to 15 minutes before sunrise. At nighttime, it's more dangerous. More dangerous creatures come out. We're still in our first day, so we don't have to worry about that yet. So anyway, back to this. One of the first things it said you wanted to build was a constructor. That's a device. Okay. These are the filters. Right now we want all, but we could filter just for base objects, capital vessels, stuff like that. We'll get into that later. So let's go to devices, large constructor. We want to make sure and build one. So bam, we just click that. it queues up everything it needs, and it's going to start building it. We had the materials to do that. That's excellent. Okay. So the next thing we're going to want to think about is we need to create oxygen, right? Because we're using it. We've got this emergency oxygen thing here, which is working, but we have to fuel that. So we need to get fuel. Okay. This guy's still working. So we need to figure out a way to get oxygen and water. And right now we have this emergency. We can get these small tanks of oxygen, but that's not going to be enough for us. Eventually we're going to need more. So that's something to work towards. Okay? This clone chamber will allow you to spawn somewhere. So I want one of those so that I can spawn back here, which this is going to be my base. So I'm going to click that. And if you look, when I made that large constructor, it used up and shows you now you can't make these materials anymore. So I'm making this clone thing, and it's going to use up even more. So it's going to use up the last of my iron and stuff like that. So I need to go out and get more ore. It's nighttime. Right now, I'm safe to go out, and I can hit L to turn on my flashlight on my suit. Right now, it is safe for me to run around. However, starting in the next night, after a couple days go by, it's no longer safe. I'm going to grab the oxygen here, and let's put one more fuel in there just to kind of keep it generating oxygen. Okay, let's grab this. We got the large constructor done. That's excellent. Okay, and this is going pretty fast. Almost finished here. Excellent. This is looking good so far. Now I'm going to make this a base for now. And the reason you want to make a base and use this that's set a spawn point, which is this clone chamber, is let me come up and get inside. Uh-oh. You see this? That means we're out of power, which also means there's no oxygen in the room anymore. And our grow light is no longer helping the plants grow. So without the air in the room, if you look, it's 10 degrees Celsius right now. Okay? It's 25 degrees in my suit because my suit is regulating me, but it's only 10 degrees here, and those plants may or may not live. I think it's 0 degrees. If it gets to 0 degrees Celsius, those plants die. So it's something to be aware of. All right. So we need to figure out where we can place this this clone thing. Oh, there's an upstairs. Look at this. This is nice. Okay, there's a shower. This is if you get radiation or your temperature gets too high, you can freely use a shower to cool. And here's a toilet you can use if you get food poisoning or have a bad trip. That'll help heal you. All right, and if you look, my O2 is down to 44. So I'm going to shift, right click, and use another tank. I gotta keep an eye on that. All right, I don't necessarily want to build this guy up here, but for some reason it's not letting me build it down here in this room. So why don't I just set it right out here? Can I build it up? No. Well, let me put it on the ground right here, I guess. Come on, you can do it. There. Right there. Now by placing that, it makes it so I can set this as a spawn point, so if I die, I will come back to here. Okay. So let's go in. Let's check out this. It will not let me build this constructor down here or here. Its constructor is pretty big. So yeah, I'm going to have to do that outside as well. That's unfortunate, but it's not that big of a deal. Let's go with this. Yeah, no, let's do it on the same side where we've currently got our stuff. So we can't build it on the ground, but if we put it close enough so that it's touching the building, we can place it. Okay? So there's the constructor. So this is the same as this, only this requires power and can build a lot more things than this little survival one can. And so I'm going to pick this up. But first I want to open it, and I want to take everything out of it. Okay. And then I want to take this guy, so I'm going to Shift F and pick him up. I want him to be in my inventory at all times, so I have it in case of emergencies. I can construct something. However, the materials I have, I want to put into this guy. So everything that can be used to build anything else I want to throw in there and see what I can do. I could build another O2 tank. Okay. I could, well, that's all I have the resources for, really. So it will build stuff as I go, but I have a little bit like silicon and iron and copper here. So I'm going to have to leave and go get those. So I'm going to go ahead and just click these. Where's the silicon? Oh, I don't have enough. It takes 5 ore to make 1. I'm clicking these to just tell it, when you can, make some ingots just to have them done. It's not that important. I'll do the same with wood planks. And then once we get the sun out, we'll get more power going. I'm going to step in here. I don't have to keep coming in and out, but I don't know, it's just habit. In fact, let me show you. As long as you're pointing your cursor at anything connected to your base, you can hit P and open the control panel. Right? So keep that in mind. Now, the capacitor that we have inside there that was already in here, this stores energy from the solar panels. This guy right here, he's actually sitting there upside down. He stores energy from the solar panels. However, if the solar panels are not giving him energy, he still can act as a generator. So he can produce power if he has fuel. So look at this thing. Let's fill the fuel. Oh, nothing happened. That's because we have biofuel in our inventory, but there's no place for the station to put it, which means one of our first things we need to do is build a fuel tank. Okay, now look at my oxygen's getting low, so I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit more. Now, I can run back out to activate that constructor, or I can just click P, go to devices, and this is everything connected to the base. Okay. Right down here in the ungrouped section is the stuff I've built recently. So I can open up the constructor by left-clicking it or clicking it and clicking the access button that's on it. It is not on right now. But what do we need to create a fuel tank? Well, right here, no fuel tank. No fuel tank. There's no way to build one. That's because we need to research it. And this is where your levels come in and your experience. So I'm going to hit F3 to bring up my research. Now, I know it's F3, but you can use anything. Like you can hit Tab to bring up your inventory and then just go here, Tech Tree. Okay, so that works just fine. And look right here. I need to be level 3 to build a fuel tank in my base. These are the categories. Okay, I have 10 points right now. My pistol already unlocked. I could unlock light armor. I don't need that. Tools. I've got everything already because I'm only level 2. So really, like, oh, I could build a cargo box. Well, I don't need this because I have the current lockers that are in the room. This is a fuel tank, but it's a fuel tank for a hover vessel, not a base. Okay? Small vessel, capital vessel. So what I need is I need to get to level 3 so I can build that fuel tank. That's my first goal. I know I'm going to need some resources for that. So I'm going to go out and gather some. I have promethium deposits over here. One thing that's nice about those is if you look under components, right here, fuel packs use promethium. So like our biofuel, you can build fuel packs that will power things. This has a fuel value of 30. The biofuel is a fuel value of 10. So this is 3 times as good. So I want to get that, but I also want to get materials to build that fuel. So I'm going to need some iron and stuff like that. Now I'm running. Again, I could bring out my motorcycle. But I'm gonna start collecting this, and then we're gonna have to end the episode because I've gone way over time. It's like a double long episode. This is how exciting this game is to me. I just want to keep playing. All right. So before I forget, I'm gonna take my oxygen. Now I've been told that, and well, I've tested it and it's worked. If I take, you see, that took a while. It was, I don't know if you could hear it very well. If I put it on my toolbar and I hit number 8 and then I left click, it goes a little bit faster, and I'm able to use something else quicker. So it's something to keep in mind. You can use it right out of your inventory, but it's a little slower. So if it's an emergency situation, or say you need to eat 2 or 3 things in a row, it's faster from your toolbar. Okay, so in my inventory, I have this thing called an ore scanner. It came off the escape pod. I don't want to ever lose that. If I do, I have to try to create a new one because you want this in your inventory. If that's in your inventory, then anytime you select your driller, your drill tool, you can see the outlines of resources. See the blue outlines there? Cool, right? Now I can right-click and choose Resource Mining, and I can start drilling down. See how it's removing the ground? Starting to create a hole there? Well, if I kept going, it would dig that huge hole, and I would just keep falling down. So this is a spot where it's fantastic to use your drone. Okay? So see me with the drill out? Your drone can pretty much do anything you can do. So I have the drill selected on the drone, which means I see the outlines. I can go over, roughly over the top. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I can drill with this drone. And what that's going to do is it's going to mean I don't have to worry about my person falling because I have him standing away. And the drone's going to drill down and uncover the resource, and then I'm going to gather it. And when you gather resources, it appears in the same place that like your experience and stuff was showing, which is the bottom left corner next to like the health and oxygen content stuff. So I'm drilling down, hoping to get to this resource soon. The larger the border, the blue border around it is, like the thicker that border is, the closer you are to the resource. So if you look, see I'm getting crushed stone right there, which is good, that's useful. I'm going to drill down, and soon I'm going to uncover this resource because look how thick those blue borders are. So it's really close right now. And you'll see a slight change when I start drilling into it. There it is. See it? There, I just drilled it and I got 39 promethium ore and 12 experience. Now look up. Look at how deep that hole was. Crazy, right? So I don't want to do this myself. I want the drone to do it. And then I can just hit F5, and now I have 39 promethium ore in my inventory. Okay, cool how that works, right? This is awesome. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here. Let me take another gulp of air. Okay, but yeah, I'm going to end the episode here because we have run twice as long as I had planned to. So this will be the beginning. So let's pause. Well, I guess it's not pausing it. Look at that. Oh, you have to use the pause break. Yeah, okay, so I can pause it by using the pause break key. Of course, in multiplayer, that does not work. So anyway, that's the first episode. I'm hoping to do more. This game is very addicting and very fun. I'm just getting a foothold right now. I haven't even had any aggressive creatures or had to fight yet. So if you're wanting to see that, I'm sure in my next episode, something will happen where I'll probably get killed. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope you're interested in this game because I'm really interested in it. I'm having a great time with it, and I hope to continue playing it a lot. Which I've been right now. I'm currently playing it in every stream I do, which is every night I stream on Twitch, 9:30 p.m. Pacific time, and this is the game I've been playing lately, and the one I'll probably continue to play. I might go back to Stationeers here and there, so feel free to come join me on Twitch. But again, if you enjoyed the episode, leave me a comment. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Every comment or like or subscription is just more support for me to go, yep, okay, this is something I should be doing. And I really appreciate that support. That's been very nice. So anyway, thanks again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you will join me for the next episode. And I really, really hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, everyone.